So I was playing Crossy Road, trying to find the secret Dog Mania character, when I started thinking, there's got to be a better way. See, to get high scores in Crossy Road, I prefer using a controller. But with such high scores, it's a lot of button presses. So, why not use Turbo? Well, while Hipster Whale set multiple jump buttons for Crossy Road Castle, there's only one button mapped to go forward in the original Crossy Road. That's the A button. You could also press up to move forward, but I like to keep left and right separate. This improves my reaction time, and it also makes the control more precise. Yet, after seeing how Turbo was so effective in Crossy Road Castle, could that technique be applied to the original Crossy Road? This might be going way back for some, but the goal is similar to the NES Max controller. The A button is to be a regular button, but the unused X button is to be a Turbo A button. So that's what this video is about. It shows how to map controller buttons for specific games across Apple devices. Let's get started with the Apple TV. First, launch the Settings app, and then select Remotes and Devices. From there, select Bluetooth from the Other Devices section. That is where you can find connected controllers. I'm selecting 8BitDo Pro 2 to leverage that controller's turbo function. It shows the Xbox controller illustration because the controller is in X mode, but the next step is generally the same regardless of the mode. In the Profiled section, Add Profile is selected. I'm going to call this one Crossy. That's probably not specific enough, considering this is not for Crossy Road Castle. But you understand the general idea, right? It's hard typing on an Apple TV. Anyway, once the profile is set up, you can change how the buttons work. In this scenario, we want the X button to also be an A button. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you want something else. That's the point. This is where the controller settings can be customized, regardless if the developers neglected to add their own custom controller settings. And in the app customization section, that's where you can assign a controller profile to an app. Crossy Road gets the Crossy profile. If you make a mistake, or if you change your mind, you can simply unset the profile. It sounds more technical to say than to do. This is proven by simply loading up Crossy Road. There's the cheerleader. She's ready to farm coins with turbo hops. The reason this needed to be customized is to avoid overhopping. When near obstacles, precision is needed. You don't want her jumping into the river. But in open areas, she can just blast right through. So, can this be done on iPhone or iPad? Sorta? There's a problem. But first, here's the process. It starts off in a similar way, by selecting the paired controller. That's in the Game Controller section, in the general area of the Settings app. The lower part of that view is where you can create profiles. This is just like before. Next, the Add Game button can be used. Here's the problem. I couldn't select Crossy Road. I could select Crossy Road Plus, though. That was surprising. Usually it's the Apple TV that has the limitations. So, if Profiles doesn't work for you, customizing the main controller settings might be a successful alternative. As for the Mac, I was able to get this trick to work there too. It's the same general idea. Just load up the Game Controller section, add a profile, and then add that profile to a game. On my M1 MacBook Air, I was able to select the original Crossy Road. I did have a bit of trouble though. I was switching controller modes, fumbling around with settings, and at one point a restart seemed to help. So this Crossy Road trick worked best for me on an Apple TV. Will it work for you? Well, if you were able to get custom controller settings working on any one of your Apple devices, you can let everyone know in the comments.